Your ancestors love you. Hi, I'm Alemi from Yeyeo Botanica. Welcome back. So great to see you all. Thank you for sharing us and coming back. And if this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Remember, we're www.yeyeo, and we're a spiritual and wellness supplier, which is why I do videos about all things spiritual. And I'm Alemi. I want to shout out all my people from the Cayman Islands. Woo-hoo! Welcome. So today I thought that we could have like a little talk about the ancestors, my favorite subject. So you all know that there are many ways to venerate your ancestors, whether or not you're a person who's very spiritual, very religious, or in between. So today I'm going to give you 5, and you know I've got some sweet things to do to venerate your ancestors no matter what your context. So let's get started. First thing I want to share with you is it doesn't make a difference if you know your ancestors, you don't know them, you know a part of your family, you don't know the other part. It does not matter. They still come to look for you. They still are interested in your highest good and what is going on in your life. You don't necessarily have to have an altar to speak with them, but having an ancestral space in your home definitely helps to invite them in and to give them a stronger presence in your life. So today I wanted to share with you a few things that you can do for your ancestors to enliven them, to give them more power, to give them more light, to give them more elevation so that they can be even stronger in the astral plane, and then they can come and even visit you, help you, and be a part of your life in a much more instrumental way. So one of the things that I encourage people to do is think about, this is if you know the ancestor, so I'm going to give you some tidbits along the way for those of you who don't know certain ancestors, but maybe know that they were instrumental in your family, or just wanting to kind of pull their energy even more. So one of the things that you can do is, if you know when a person has passed, on their anniversary and or in and around that time, definitely do something for them by calling their name when you're doing it. To say, I am doing this on behalf of Mary Jane Marvin, as an example, right? Or whatever your relative's name is. And if you don't really know all their names, which is no one knows all their names, you can say for all the Martins that are ancestors that come in love, peace, and light. In my community, I share this with all my people, and I'm sharing it with you. You invite all ancestors that come in love, peace, and light. So cooking foods for the ancestors based on where they're from is very, very effective. Cooking foods for them, if you're not a person who cooks, definitely go to the soul food restaurant or go to the Italian restaurant or go to a place that serves food that you can purchase, that you can put down for them in memory of them. So food is huge, 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 huge for ancestors. And even if you do not eat some of those foods, you still should put them down in veneration. The other thing is lighting incense for them. Frankincense and myrrh is one of the most well-known incense to light for the ancestors. They call that church incense, right? Frankincense and myrrh is burnt in almost every tradition for praise and veneration. And if you'd like me to do a video on frankincense and myrrh, comment below. Another incense for the ancestors, especially people with African and African American lineage and Caribbean, is copal. Now this is a sweet thing for you. We got lots of them in this video. So food, incense, maybe putting lights for them, a particular candle in particular. Sometimes they are relatives that were candle burners, or if they were very devout Catholics, or they had patron saints that they really, really venerated. Some of you have patron saints of your family, as an example. Saint Barbara, who is paralleled with Shango, the Orisha Shango. We have Saint Anne, we have Saint Jude. There are a lot of different saints that some relatives really venerate. You can also light a candle for them and say that this is in commemoration for that particular ancestor. Another thing that you can do outside of that is pouring libation. And so if you have not seen my libation video, definitely watch that, because I go into all different types of libations that you can pour and how libation works. But pouring or dropping on the ground, it's kind of like when they go, oh, I'm pouring this for my homies, right? Pouring your beer, or pouring some gin, pouring some rum, and definitely doing what in the Yoruba faith we say, omi tutu, cold water, cool water for the ancestors. Cool water is even more effective than dropping any kind of alcoholic beverage. The other thing to do, so we've gone through a few of them, is reading doctrine for them. So reading something that you know that they would identify with. As an example, certain aunties that passed away, as an example, they may have liked romance novels. Maybe you read a part of that. But also, more importantly, reading spiritual doctrine for them. If they were a Bible reader, if they read the daily prayers and things like that. Those are very effective to let the spirit know that this is very special. This is very much commemorated and being offered to them, right? Another thing that is very effective, and some of you participated in some of my prayer circles that I've done, and we've done some spiritual circles also virtually so that people can hear from their ancestors, is to do a prayer circle, having your relatives come together, or maybe just some friends and relatives, it could be mixed, where people just sit around and pray. Pray with some kind of prayer book, online prayers, some of your own verbal prayers, things like that is very, very effective for the ancestors. Music. They love their music. So for people in the Fa Yoruba faith, we play lots of music, drums, we dance, we have a wonderful, wonderful time with the ancestors. But for yourself, regardless of whether or not you're in these faiths, play their music. Some people would tell me, and I remember when I was growing up, my mom would play Sunday music, right? While they're cooking, we're in the house, we're bringing it down, relaxing together. Sunday music, right? So those of you who remember Sunday music, definitely comment below. That kind of music is great to play for the ancestors, in addition to, if they were religious, playing some of their gospel music, some of their music that they identified with. And remember, regular music. When I say that, I mean secular music. Maybe you'd play some music from the 60s, from the 50s, from the 40s, from the 20s, whatever it is that that time period was that you know that they would have identified with it. Play music for them. They absolutely love that. And the sweet, sweet, well, I've got two sweet things. One of them is a suggestion that someone made that I thought was just fantastic, is if you know the particular ancestor that you are lifting up. As an example, a grandmother, when she was alive, she wore a particular color, or a grandfather, or something like that, or a parent, wear their color, right? Maybe they had a particular color that they liked, or a particular type of hat, or a particular type of coat, things like that. Wear something that day to really let them know, I am really lifting you up on this particular day. And lastly, my sweet, sweet thing for you today is get a plant and name that plant in commemoration for that person. I dedicate this plant to Etta Sims. That's my grandmother. I dedicate this plant to Etta Sims. So every day that you water it and that you take care of it, this is putting love, energy. You can pray with it, talk with it, to give life and energy to this ancestor, but also to your own spirituality. Why? Because we're a part of nature. We're connected to everything that the source has put here. And so by fusing that with your spirituality, you bring more power and life to yourself and to your own prayers, in addition to the ancestors. So I hope you watch this video to the end so that you heard that sweet thing. And if you did, comment below. I want to know what you think about my final sweet thing today. It was wonderful sharing this with you. I love talking about the ancestors. Some people call me the Spirit Whisperer. So you know I love to talk to Spirit and to the ancestors. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Hit the bell for notifications to stay in the know. And see you next time. Ashe, ashe, ashe.